All right, it's Sunday and I'm wearing too much makeup. So let's talk about new release products that have been revealed, sneak peeked, released, talked about in the past week. There's one update and one old thing from the week before that I forgot to talk about. Let's do it and I can take my makeup off. Update. Do you remember when we talked about the Natasha Denona mini Starlette palette? Well, it is now available in some places. So Ulta, Natasha Denona, coming soon to other places. People liked this because it was cool toned. It was sort of nudie pink, and it had a sort of soft vibe that we don't really see cool toned pinky nudes too often. It's usually warmer. This looked interesting. We're starting to see swatches and it's looking a little bit more same old that we've seen before. Besides that dark sort of purpley color, everything is looking bronzy, peachy, champagne. It's not as unique as I wanted it to be. So this is probably going to be a bit of a disappointment to a lot of people, but I still think it looks pretty. I like this one. It's a nice everyday sparkle shade. So yeah, were you expecting this? Is this what you were interested in? If you saw the palette and you were like, hang on, I might check that out. I do want to see this in store. Photos show different things, but I do find sometimes brands, like I think Prada Beauty do it a lot, Natasha Denona tend to do it a lot. When they show marketing images, they look a little bit more neutral or cool toned, and then in person they swatch a lot warmer. So I feel like that's what's happening here. So are you still interested? I would like to know your thoughts. One thing I didn't talk about last week is Prada Beauty is back. I believe they had a makeup line. I think it went away and now it's back. We've got some of these eyeshadow palettes. So there's interesting, I feel like luxury brands do this a lot where they would choose like a color story like this that realistically very few people would wear. It might match their winter coats that they're bringing out next season or something, I don't know, but in reality it's not really okay. Maybe a few shades here, but how it's structured, it's not a very usable quad. And also even that little thin line, like unless you're using it as an eyeliner, and those stupid little fancy applicators that are cheapy and nasty, the foam applicators, that's what they are. This is just luxury makeup written all over it. Not very functional, not very usable, but very expensive. These are the other ones. Probably the one that they've been pushing the most is this one because realistically it's probably the one that is most wearable. Again, you've got a pop of red, a pop of green, nice in theory, in your standard quad that you're going to put in your makeup bag and take with you to work. These are probably not going to be it. So it's good in concept, probably not the best in execution. But I do think those thin lines, they tend to look like they're supposed to be defining colors because they're all quite dark. I feel like they've been pushing the lipsticks the most. I do like this texture when they put like a really nice texture on a lipstick, a high-end lipstick. It looks very fancy. There are a lot of shades that they're releasing. I think there's 2 different formulas or at least 2 different packaging styles. And they have refills as well. For everything in this, they've got refills, which is fantastic. I love a good quality packaging and then the ability to buy a refill if you need it. I am a lipstick lover and I am a red lipstick lover. I can justify the nuances in my red lipstick collection until the cows come home. But this is even pushing it for me. Look how many brownie red shades there are that just look the same. There's 5 or 6 nudes, 1 or 2 pinks, a coral, an orange, a really dark berry, what looks like an even darker berry, and then a couple of bright reds, and then just an abundance of brownie red. Again, I can justify the nuances. I'm sure if I swatch these, I'll be like, oh yes, that one is slightly more red toned and that one's slightly more berry toned. But this is a bit much, don't you think? They do look beautiful on the lips though. Like that looks really thin, but really opaque. It's going to be a nice lipstick. But it's very expensive. So they're $50 each. And of course you can buy refills, which is great. A $50 lip balm, that's a bit much. $80 for the quads or refills are $65. And they've also got foundations and refills, which is great. I love that idea. That's great. Very expensive tools. Everything's sort of pointy. They want to get their logo in there with all the shapes. Kat Von D, KVD, Kindness Vegan Doing Good Beauty have released a new full sleeve mascara. This is a tubing mascara. It looks a little bit sinister. This looks like it's a torture device, but maybe it applies mascara beautifully. But if you're not familiar with a tubing mascara, essentially you remove it with like warm water and it comes off in like plastic sort of tubes, essentially. They're really good if you find that mascara tends to rub off on your face, smear, smudge. Tubing mascaras are really good. I personally find them a bit weird and a bit annoying to remove. There's something about it I just don't really like the feeling of, but some people swear by them. So Kat Von D, KVD, whatever they're called, KVD Beauty, have one. They've also added new shades to their eyeliner range. I quite like the pops of colour in there. So they've got an extensive eyeliner range with all the navies and the other colours that you want, but they've added a couple of shimmer shades and a couple of mattes. Well, more than a couple, a few. We're starting to see Christmas stuff. This is YSL Christmas collection. I don't like the look of this. Again, I think that palette is hideous. The packaging, I just see, I'll show you what I see. This white chocolate ice magic, that's all I see. There's going to be a big advent calendar. I'm trying to have a look. I think if you like their lipsticks and their fragrances, I think this might actually, I don't know the price of it, but it might actually be a decent one. There's quite a lot of lipsticks and quite a lot of fragrances. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to do a TikTok about advent calendars because they're very, very popular, and the more luxe, the more sometimes disappointing, but also exciting. Tom Ford. This is the Private Rose Garden. Ugh, that sounds creepy. It's the fall collection. This doesn't really look fall to me. It's very pink. I'm not a huge pink fan. I can tell that they've sort of designed it around that fragrance. I just look at this and I think, first I think dated, but I also think back to when Tom Ford were like the quads were the thing that everyone needed to have in the beauty industry. I'd have friends that'd be like, I've got 3 of them and I've come all the way to Melbourne to go and swatch more and buy more. And I'm like, oh, fucking good on you. But they look so bland these days. I'm riveted. I like the cooler tone, similar to the Natasha Denona, but yeah. Would you believe me if I told you that's a different one? That's the second one in the collection. One that's slightly shimmery, a little bit different. Last thing, this is, I think, a smart move. I feel like cream cheek products are the thing of 2023, and I think bronzers for more skin tones much needed. So Juvia's Place have just launched the bronzed cream bronzers. That is a name. So it is new long-lasting creamy and radiant formula, perfect for skin definition and bronze glow. Comes in 8 shades. Here they are. Tell me they're wearing highlighter. They've got to be wearing highlighter in this, because look at the first one, Espresso. She looks gorgeous for one, but okay, you go looking sculpted. That's a highlighter. It's not the bronzer, is it? Surely. Hang on, let me read. The pearls delicately reflect light, unveiling a mesmerizing luminosity. This can be your secret weapon for the luminous complexion that turns head and steals the spotlight. So there's bronze and highlight. Tell me I'm dreaming. This is something I need in my life. These are the shades. They're beautiful. I'd be one of these, probably honey. Oh, I kind of want it. It's beautiful.